Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Slegaitis-Smith. If you're brand new, welcome you. If you're old hat, welcome back. On this channel, we talk about many geeky topics, mostly through a writing lens. So if you are interested in writing video games, movies, and other geeky type topics, maybe consider hanging around with us and hitting that subscribe button and the bells to get notified when the next video comes out. Today we're going to be diverging a small little bit from the norm because I have been tagged in the YouTube creator tag. So I'm going to be answering those questions for you, and we are going to go ahead and get started. See you in a moment. Before I fully get started, I do want to say that I will have the links available for Bethany, who is another author tuber who tagged, well, pretty much anyone who watches her video. So if you want to get tagged, as well as if you're interested in her answers, her links will be in the description so that you can go and check those out. And I highly recommend that you do, regardless of whether you're interested in her answers to these questions or just looking for some really great writing advice. Her channel is an excellent one to go to. So without any further ado, I will now get into answering these questions. There are 13 in total, which you can also find below. And let's go ahead and get started. Question number 1 asks, how many hours or how much time do you put into making and recording your YouTube videos? So for me personally, with the fact that I'm newer to YouTube and I'm still kind of finding my rhythm as far as the amount of time it takes me to create a video, usually I can take anywhere between 30 seconds to multiple hours coming up with an idea for my videos, and then it usually takes me 30 minutes to an hour to record each video. This is just like doing the raw shots. Then when you go into the editing phase, it is very different. Especially depending on how long my actual recording was. If my recording ends up being around 30-ish minutes, which is where it's been hanging at with my most recent videos, then it will take me at least double that in order to actually get that video edited so that it is ready to go up onto YouTube. And this is without me like doing anything super particularly fancy. I don't know how to do tons of fancy editing stuff. I'm still learning how to do more fancy editing. So because of that, my timing is largely focused on making sure that my videos are cut at the right place so that there's no dead air time. And so that if I end up wording something strangely or saying words very strangely, because I can tend to do that, I then am able to backtrack, take out those things that would be distracting so that the video can just be more flowing and cohesive. And the way that I've been editing those gaps is to not put transitions in them, because I have seen through many other author tubers and YouTubers that it is far more distracting if you put a transition in versus just what I would call like a rugged cut, where you're just slapping two sides of the video together. And so sometimes it can be looking a little bit strange when you go through and you're like actually watching the video, but a lot of people just play videos in the background. So it is far less disrupting because there is less of an audio hitch than there is a video based hitch. I could be wrong about that. So if the raw cuts annoy you, go ahead and put that in the comments and I will rectify my behavior. The next question is, what sort of camera or equipment do you use to do your recording? And this is where I am a little bit more fancy, but not necessarily better, depending on how well I'm actually applying the use of these pieces of equipment. So I have a Canon Rebel SL3 that I use as my camera, which gives me pretty good audio and visual quality. However, my usual microphone that I use is not the one attached to the camera, because my husband is a sound nerd. And I will say that he is a nerd and I am a geek, and if you are interested in hearing my thoughts on the differences between those two terms, I would love to address that in another video. But he is a definite sound nerd, and so he went absolutely joy-filled bonkers over developing my sound setup. So I actually have a mixing board that I use, which my cats walk across and it messes with my sound and sometimes breaks it. And I have an Audio-Technica, I think it's Technica, if I'm gonna say it right, microphone. I'm not even sure which kind, which is horrible. But basically more professional setup, and then I use RTX voice from NVIDIA in order to try to cut out any background noises. With the fact that I'm in an apartment and I have cats running around, it hones in specifically on my voice so that you can cut out a lot of that background noise. However, it can sometimes also bite me a little bit, because if my voice changes to a lower, more subtle pitch, sometimes you can end up losing that, or a higher, more subtle pitch. Subtlety is not the friend of NVIDIA RTX voice, but on the whole, I believe it works really well and it helps make the sound a lot more crisp. So those are the things that I use technology-wise. Question number 3 is, why do you vlog? I'm not sure that I would technically count this channel as a vlogging channel, although I'm thinking of perhaps heading a little bit more in that direction, because it seems that people tend to vibe a little bit more with that versus the lecturer type setup. Um, but to answer the why behind why I do this, it is for a couple of different reasons. One is because of the fact that I am trying to actually build up my author platform, which means that I need to get good at doing various forms of social media in order for people to realize that I am alive. And this is one of them. Two, I have this thing where I really love learning, even when it's painful. And so I also really enjoy the learning curve, because there is a learning curve to starting a YouTube channel, and to most things in general. So I enjoy going through the process of learning those things, even though you can have different emotional hills and valleys along the learning process. And another one is that I am really passionate about creative writing, and I would really like the opportunity to share that passion with other people to get them inspired to do creative things as well. I mentioned in this video, and I've mentioned in other videos as well, that I am a teacher, and I am a teacher in the regular public school education system in the US. And I don't really get the time to focus on creative writing like I would like in my classes. So I'm using YouTube as kind of an outlet to try to bring creative writing and creative activities to people who are interested in learning about them, so that hopefully we can all make awesome projects together. So those are my reasons behind why I have this YouTube channel, why I'm making the videos that I make, and what made me pick the specific niche that I'm in. Question number 4 is, who are your favorite YouTubers? Let me not cut that one out so you can see that I genuinely do have moments of mispronunciation issues. I do leave them in occasionally, but just in case you were wondering, there you go. So most people doing this tag are specifically not mentioning author tubers, because the people who I've seen doing this tag, at least, are all author tubers, and because there are a decent number of author tubers out there, we don't want to miss anybody. I feel like you're gonna miss anybody anyway. But I will also stick along with that, and I will be specifically referring to my favorite YouTubers outside of the AuthorTube community, and you will get to see a little bit of where my geeky side of things comes in on a couple of different topics. So my favorite YouTubers to watch outside of AuthorTuber include Jacksepticeye, who I just, you gotta love his positive attitude, his funny yelliness, and also the fact that you can tell that he has a deep heart, that he cares for so many people. And so he is one of my absolute favorites that I've been watching for years and years. And gaming, in case you didn't know, he's on the gaming side of things. He's like one of the biggest names on the gaming side of things. So if you didn't know, now you know, and you can go check him out. Jacksepticeye. And then the next one, who is also on the gaming side of things, I really enjoy watching The Spiffing Brit. He covers a bunch of different types of video games, and he covers exploits in video games, which it's just absolutely hilarious to watch, and it's so much fun to listen to him talk about these different games and the exploits that are inside them and how they are perfectly balanced. And then the last channel that I'm going to mention that I really enjoy watching, there's kind of partner channels involved, and they haven't put out anything in a while, but that's a different story. You can go to their channel and check stuff out. It's the Korean Englishman slash Jolly. They're kind of connected and yet separate at the same time. They're done by the same people. And what I've really enjoyed about that channel is the learning experiences that are available in that channel. It's a cultural exploration between how things are in England, where the YouTubers are from, and in Korea, which is a location that they're both passionate about and like to spend a lot of time in. And I just really enjoy learning about the cultural differences. I like learning about the foods. I like learning about the language, which they explore a lot of these different things. So that goes into my learning side of things. And those are my absolute favorite YouTubers outside of the AuthorTube realm. Question number 5 is, do you monetize your videos? And my very quick answer is not yet. And the reason for that is that at this time, I'm still a very small YouTuber. I do not have enough watch time nor subscribers in order to even think about monetizing them. So I'm going to change this question a bit to, will I monetize in the future? And if you do want to help me towards that subscriber slash watch time goal, you can go ahead and click that subscribe button. I wouldn't mind it. It might be nice. But anyway, for would I do it in the future? Honestly, I don't know yet, because my goal for YouTube is not to use it to make money. A lot of people go into YouTube and they're like, "Oh, I want to make money off my videos. That would be so cool." And I'm not that much concerned about whether or not I can make money from YouTube. I genuinely, I am way more interested in cultivating relationships with the other author tubers and with my subscribers than any money that I could ever make off of YouTube. If I get to the point where I am able to monetize my videos, that might be cool. I might choose to do it. Maybe I can check in with you guys once I get to that point. But at this time, I'm really not worried about it. If I stay a small author tuber for a really long time, I would be okay with that, because right now I am able to have mini conversations with anybody who comments on my videos because I don't have crazy amounts of comments yet. If people DM me, I'm able to just contact and talk with these people who are trying to talk with me too. And so I'm very down for that. And so monetization is not a goal for me. If I get there, cool. If I don't, whatever. That's not my main mission. My main mission is just to build these relationships and inspire creativity. So that's where I'm at for monetization. Question number 6 is, what are you excited about in the coming year? And that is a little bit hard to nail down, because I have goals for what I want to achieve in this channel as far as types of videos that I want to put out. Right now, I'm in the middle of an editing series, and I am starting to delve into the video game world more and more instead of just kind of glossing over it. I also have done videos in the past, like right when this channel started, where I was discussing specifically how you could apply different parts of writing across novels, movies, and video games. And I would kind of like to go back to that a little bit more. I don't have any evidence to prove that I should go back to that at the moment, because they were my very first videos. Very few people saw them. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go on back there and watch them, as embarrassing as that will be, because I hope that I've certainly progressed since then as far as being a YouTuber is concerned. But I would kind of like to go back and do that kind of thing so that I can continue to showcase how writing is across all these mediums, because in case you didn't know, it is. It really is. So I would like to go back and do that. So I don't have specific things that I can really point to as far as the channel is concerned, but that is where I'm headed as far as my excitement is concerned. I'm also really starting to roll on getting my debut novel out, and where that is at this point in time is the novel is completely finished and edited and proofed and all the things. Now I'm at the point where I'm starting to query agents, which, and if you didn't know, it takes a really long time. So I would love to say that I will have my first book deal or my first book coming out by the end of this year, but you can never really know with these things. And I might end up doing self-publishing first because my goal is to become a hybrid author, which is you do a little traditional, you do a little independent, and it ends up being a nice married world. Um, so I don't know how long that's going to take because querying can take years instead of a year. Getting published after successfully getting an agent can also take years. So let's see how that goes. But I have that one completely finished, which is awesome, and I'm excited to start that process. I have a second one that's almost done with its final round of editing. I am going to be super excited when that's finished. And I have a third novel that I just finished and I'm just starting to edit, and I'm going to be really excited about going through all those processes as well. And then there's so many stories that I'm starting. Time management, friends. Time management is key. Number 7 is what's your most awkward filming moment? Um, it is definitely stuff that has not actually shown up on camera yet. As much as I say that my early videos are awkward, it's mostly awkward as far as just like trying to, like, I don't know, figure out how to do things for the first time versus something that I would find truly awkward and fully embarrassing, which is the things that I've cut out. Because there's been times when I've done things that are a little bit more skit like, a little bit more odd, I suppose, where I go into making weird voices while talking, which I've done once in this video, and I am going to force myself to leave it in. Maybe this will be the most awkward one. We'll see. And so those little sketch things, I feel like they're fun, but I also feel like they're really weird. And as far as putting myself out there on the internet, I need to build some bravery to actually do that. So one day, maybe those super embarrassing film moments will come out. Right now, I haven't had to worry about like weird things about filming in public because with the fact that I started this during the year that shall not be named, going out has not really been a thing. So I haven't been anywhere to be embarrassed by it. So the most awkward thing is when I am creating these weird creatures to represent personified elements of writing, which I have not put out yet. Question number 8 is what are your goals for your channel? And I kind of already talked about those in my why for why I'm doing this. My goals for this channel is to one, grow at least a small following of people who are interested in my writing so that when I finally publish a book, there will be some people who actually want to buy and read it. Just because part of my goals for writing is to be able to help people through my writing, and if nobody knows my book exists, chances of that pretty small. No one knows I exist, chances of that pretty small. So I do want to build a little bit of a following here. I don't really have a number attached to that. I mean, frankly, right now, 100 people would be fantastic. I am perfectly happy with that. But I would like to build a small following here on YouTube. 2, I would like to inspire people to create their own projects. If someday one of my subscribers mentions on my channel, getting my book published, getting my video game made, or making a movie, honestly, that would be the best thing for me. Like, if somebody does that, that would be gold. That would be my goal. Absolute gold would be people actually creating stuff because they were inspired to create stuff and being a small part in that. So that's really my goals as far as the YouTube channel is concerned. I would like to introduce people to me so that they can see my beautiful awkward self and maybe decide that they like me. And I would like to inspire people to create their own creative endeavors, whatever that may look like for what medium they would prefer to work in. Number 9 is what is your favorite types of videos to make? As far as this is concerned, I'm still kind of working that out as far as style is concerned. I can say from when I did my one live stream that I've done so far and also my most recent one about video games, I really enjoyed that. I really like looking at video games through the lens of writing and doing that, and I like that playing video games gets to be a part of that. So far those, along with the ones where I get to show how writing shows up in these different fields and doing drawings of characters to go along with that, those have been the most fun to make. They also take the most time to make, but they are the most fun. So I can't do them all the time because of time restrictions, because I am a teacher and teaching is a time consuming profession, in case no one ever told you. But those are my favorites. Question number 10 is what makes talking in front of the camera comfortable for you? And I don't rightly know what makes it comfortable. Usually when I am making my videos, I'm staring at like a gray space on my screen. So there is absolutely no interaction at all happening, which is something that you have to get used to. But as bad as it may sound, and I have addressed it in other videos, with how teaching has been this last year, my school has been 100% virtual for this entire year, this entire school year, 2020 to 2021 school year. Whether or not that's going to change in the future, I honestly cannot say. I have no idea. My life changes on a day-to-day basis. But I have learned to become more comfortable talking on camera and getting no feedback from another person on the other side because of the fact that sometimes that's what I do in class. Because you got kids, like entire classes of kids, who will not turn on their cameras or microphones the entire time, and you cannot force them to. And so I've had to learn how to kind of, I guess, turn performer on to continue to be myself while talking to a black screen. And it's actually been a lot easier when it comes to YouTube because I know the interaction is coming later. So, what makes it easier for me to be as natural as I can be on the screen is that I take the conversations that I have with myself and I'm just playing them out, and the camera happens to be there. If you are a writer, if you're an introvert, if you're someone who's in your head a lot, you will probably relate to this where you rehearse a lot of things inside your brain before they ever come out into the world. And that's kind of what these videos end up being. I never write down a script, but I have rehearsed it in my brain, ooh boy, a bunch of times. So, because of that, I think that that helps me to be a little bit more natural on camera. I do try to enunciate when I'm speaking and have less pauses when I'm talking and maintain eye contact, which I don't even do if you're in real life with me. But other than that, it is just the idea of like playing out this rehearsing, and it still kind of feels like rehearsing because I don't have a person here with me. So if you're an in your head person, think about it as like you rehearsing the conversation before you actually get to have it with a person in person. Yeah. Question 11 is do you or will you allow your kids to be in videos with you? I don't know how to answer this question yet because I do not have children yet. Occasionally, my cats make appearance by accident, and some people have been using their pets to substitute for children on this question. I honestly don't know. I think that's one of those questions that I would have to actually be in that circumstance to truly answer because I can see arguments for and against, and how I would feel towards that at this point. I don't know. I don't necessarily have it against or for at this time because I'm not a parent yet. So I don't know. Question number 12 is your spouse or significant other supportive of you doing your YouTube channel? And I kind of already touched on how he helped design like my whole sound related setup as far as the YouTube channel is concerned. And I would say that he is very supportive in general, and he also gets a little nerd excited over it in the sense that he gets to play with my sound and he gets to play with my lighting and stuff like that in order to help figure out these technical problems. He really enjoys those types of things, so he's very supportive of it from the side of being able to play with tech. But then also, as far as me putting videos out there, he's supportive of my reasons behind it. He even spent a lot of time with me before I started the YouTube channel talking over my whys for getting into it, and also for mental preparation for how to approach the channel and how to approach future interactions with the channel. So I would definitely say that he's supportive of my YouTube endeavors. Question number 13 is what advice do you have, or one piece of advice that you have for people who are just starting out on YouTube? And I still consider myself in the just starting out side of YouTube. So I will talk both to myself as well as to anyone who is thinking of starting a channel or just started a channel. Number one thing, Don't be discouraged by numbers. Everyone thinks that they're going to be the viral hit, and that is not the case. It takes time, no matter what your fourth graders say. My fourth graders asked me why I wasn't popular when they found my channel, because they thought that every YouTuber had like thousands and thousands of subscribers. That was an interesting conversation. So don't get discouraged. If you have a fourth grader who asks you why you aren't popular, don't let yourself be discouraged by not seeing your numbers climb as quickly as you would like to have them climb, maybe. It takes time, and things that take time are things that are worth putting investment and energy into it. Anything that is a quick fix will also be a quick fail. So, well, I can't say anything. There's rare times when quick fixes become quick successes long term, but it's not going to be your general rule. You just can't never say never, you know, that type of thing. But be patient. Also, as far as feeling like your videos are adequate or up to par with other people who have been on YouTube for years, relax. It will come in time. You will get better at the things that you need to get better at. You will find the things that you need to find. You will build a community that you need to build. Just breathe, relax. It will come with time, effort, and practice. All things with practice. That is something that I do tell my students all the time. You cannot just instantly be good at something. Even if you're someone who is like massively good at quickly grabbing skills, you still gotta start at 0 before you hit 80. So breathe and let the learning process happen. And don't be afraid of your failures. You are going to fail. You will fail beautifully sometimes. But those failures are what lead to your growth and success. So don't let yourself be discouraged, is I guess the bottom line for the advice that I have for anyone who's starting out new or thinking about starting a channel too. So this has been my YouTube Confessions tag. I hope that you enjoyed it. You found some of the things interesting. If you have any questions about anything that I've said, you may absolutely ask them in the comment section below. If you would like to consider helping this small family here grow, consider hitting the subscribe button, hitting the like button, leaving a little comment about anything your heart desires. And I do sincerely hope that I will get to see you in the next video. Have a great one. Until the next one.